Sup, fool? Hey, hey, sup, fool? It's Christmas today. And I'm in the same place I was yesterday. Christmas, it's Christmas, it's Christmas. Watched two of my most favorite Christmas movies last night. Bad Santa and Die Hard. Die Hard. Yep. Today, what I'm gonna watch comes at a request. Eric Clapton. Hopefully this is the right one. Hopefully it's funny. If not, whatever, man. Merry fucking Christmas. You filthy fucking animal.
I could change the world. If I could change the world, I would put you in my ass and you'd live there. I would put you inside of my fucking ass. If I could change the world, I would make you tiny and put you in my ass. You could control me with a bunch of levers and make me move. It wouldn't be gay.
I accidentally hit the wrong hotkey on my keyboard and it stopped recording. So here we go again.
Me move. It wouldn't be gay. I'd be some kind of robot. It wouldn't be gay. It wouldn't be gay. I would be a robot, not a gay man. I'd be some kind of big robot, or I'd be regular size and you'd be tiny. It would be gay. You'd have to control me with wires and buttons. I would be some sort of mech or rogue Gundam. I would be a Gundam, and you would just live in my ass.
What?
Yes. And people ask me, you know, obviously this song is filled with symbolism, and you know, I'm always surprised because it's probably one of the most literal songs.
Right, yes. People ask me, Eric, what's the song about? They're like, Eric, this was the second song you made after your son's unfortunate
one of the
death.
most literal songs I've ever written. It's quite frankly, if I could change the universe.
Tears in Heaven was about my son dying, but
I would make myself either very large or I would select, you know, a pilot is my preferred, to live inside my ass. Live inside my ass. Control me as if I were a giant robot.
right. Wouldn't be changing much about the world.
Well, it would be. That
I
was
have no idea what his
man in
speaking
the
voice
ass.
sounds like.
I don't either.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He's pretty chill though.
This is,
Cocaine. He loved cocaine.
Black tea and honey. Black tea and honey.
I remember listening to that song when I was like 12 and being like, hell yeah, dude, I love cocaine.
Yeah, I could shrink you down and let you live inside my ass.
I'm not gay. It's not gay. It's not gay.
You could control me with a bunch of levers. Is, you know, they say that an artist should always diversify, but I always thought that the most interesting thing to me lyrically is exploring the same theme over and over again.
Right.
Right. The instrumentation to change, because then you really challenge yourself.
Yep.
Because people are going to say, no matter what, the instant criticism is going to be, you've already covered this. We know you want to be either a giant robot or have a partner of some sort that's shrunken down to live inside your ass.
Right.
To control you with wires and levers.
That's right.
we know this about you.
Everybody knows that.
We're familiar with this.
That's why Cream has to break up.
Yeah.
You keep talking about it.
When I was with the Yardbirds, I was always pushing for some kind of, you know, we do live shows, and this was before Tool, who I really credit with changing the live.
Oh yeah, Tool.
I wanted to project a video of me as some kind of dying alien that's sick from doing too much meditation.
Right.
And Tool stole that idea. I said,
Really?
Yes,
Seems like
I
you had
said-
kind of a jump on
I
Tool.
wanted to, yes. Initially,
Yeah, like
I had the
30
idea
years.
of spinning an $80 million laser show setup where there's a pyramid and we go inside the pyramid It's very similar to a man going inside another man's ass.
Right.
Correct.
If I asked several people, and they told me it was impossible to do with lasers. That the only thing that lasers could create was some kind of alien that's throwing up from doing too much yoga.
Right. Not
It's
not
an
a guy in
alien
another guy's ass.
who's aligned his chakras to the extent that now he's dying in space prison.
It's too much. He's
Yeah.
too enlightened.
And they kicked me out of the band for that. And then
Out of Tool.
yes, and
Eric Clapton was in Tool.
I had one interview with Tool. I was trying to be in Tool, and they stole my idea.
Well, that's so fucked.
So what are your,
I submitted a packet to Tool,
And
and I just saw my own bit there.
And then I had lunch with my best friend Paul McCartney. Probably. My very good
Just
friend.
woke up, by the way.
Yeah, so cool.
The only guy I know, actually. And I told him, I think where this went wrong, because this was the greatest tragedy in my life. Probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me is being rejected by Tool and then having them steal my idea for the sick alien.
It has to be painful.
Yes. And yeah, really nothing else rings a bell.
You can't really think about it.
My life's been pretty good.
Damn.
I bet, yeah, it's been it's almost magical, really.
Right.
And I said to him, I got to go back to the robot thing.
Do you know that?
I said
I need to get back to my roots.
this was all due to me departing from my original idea of solely pursuing one artistic expression my entire life, which is that I want to be either a giant robot or a regular sized robot with a friend who lives inside my ass.
And that's when I wrote the song.
Thank you, Eric.
When I wrote the film, The
Would
Lion
you
King,
be?
a lot of people don't know. I was actually the screenwriter of The Lion King.
Really?
I created the story and came up with it. And originally, it was about.
Was Timon originally in Pumbaa's ass?
That was correct. It was, I imagined an ancient African golem who tricks a young lion cub into living in his ass.
Wow.
And the lion cub grows to full size inside of his ass. And it's very similar to the story of, I believe it was Hercules carrying an oxen
Right.
around his house or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
And he had a blue oxen, and as it grew older, that's how he became John Revere.
Right.
If you remember the
Isn't that
story
Paul Bunyan?
of John Henry versus the Machine.
Right.
So we said, what if we did a version of that set in Africa?
There we go.
And that's where the Lion King came from. And at the time, I was really thinking a lot more about that robot. It's sort of a lifelong obsession.
Yeah.
And that derailed the story, and my interview to write The Lion King never went past that first interview.
You've interviewed for a lot of interesting showbiz jobs.
But they kept the
being
name.
in
One of
Tool.
the greatest tragedies of my life was being declined for the position of head screenwriter of The Lion King. And they stole my idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it seems like it was a different idea.
No.
I
it's
went
similar.
in 1983. I went to Disney and I said, "Let's do a children's movie set in Africa about a giant robot with a man that lives in his ass." And
Right. Called The Lion King?
it was called Terminator 2. And I can't prove it, obviously. But what happens? 10 years later,
Right.
They make Terminator 1.
Disney releases a movie set in Africa for children.
That's right.
And that
So
doesn't.
wait, I'm sorry. Had Terminator 1 come out?
No,
I'm sorry,
he
but you don't
pitched
need to be-
Terminator 2, and then they had to make a Terminator 1 to steal his idea for Terminator
You don't need to
2.
be a giant crime-solving robot to figure out
Right, what happened with a man in his
happened
ass?
with a man in his ass. Figure that out.
Who's pulling levers to control him?
It's not necessary. You can see clear as day what happened there was. They were so intimidated
It was
by it.
dastardly.
Yes.
Downright fucked up, Eric.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us for the first part of the Cumtown. We're trying to have more mainstream guests.
Yeah, we're trying to become
That's
more
our
like
interview
Rogan.
with Eric Clapton, everyone.
thanks
Do you have any
joining us.
questions for me?
Yeah. So, when you were in Cream,
Yeah, we're Derek and the Dominoes, of course. So many great projects.
Yes.
how
thank
about
you.
this? Why did you do
Do you
the?
have any, maybe perhaps either one of you, I'm not familiar with either of you.
Yeah, sure.
Intimately, but if either one of you want to use this joke setup to demonstrate your knowledge of Eric Clapton's actual
Thank you, I appreciate that.
portfolio.
I just did that kind
If
of.
there's any,
Well, I was gonna ask you.
if that would be very funny to you,
Right. I was
would be-
actually
I
gonna
think
say,
there's
was
probably
the
some
band
people that-
Cream named after when you would come, like coming out of your cock?
Oh no,
When
I've
the
never
ma-
thought about that actually.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we were sitting around trying to come up with a name for a band. And we were at
course.
Denny's.
Yeah.
Was
Your daddy's in
Oh, for your comedy.
Fucking Denny's.
London.
the first one. There's a lot of people I know that the first Denny's was in London.
Really?
Yeah.
And I was having a moons over my hammy,
Of course.
and the other members of Cream, Paul McCartney, and,
right.
and Elton John.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're sitting at Denny's
And
in Piccadilly Circus, right? The Denny's at Piccadilly Circus.
If I remember correctly, Paul McCartney was having the Southwestern crazy cowboy tortilla soup, and Elton John was eating a bowl of gum.
Did he bring it himself?
He brought his own. He brought his own. He would bring a bowl of cum everywhere, and he would lick at it like a kitten.
This is even when he was pretending to be straight.
This was when he was pretending to be a kitten.
Oh,
He was-
okay.
Yeah, there was a period, people forget, he went straight, then cat, then gay.
Kind of a.
It was really, I almost blame that Cats phase for
him
because
turning
he
full
became
gay.
obsessed, absolutely obsessed with Mr. Mistopheles.
Right, who is cool.
Mr.
I don't know.
Mistopheles?
I don't know if he listened to us, but I thought he was pretty cool.
Yeah, we
from
talked
Cats.
about him on our show.
I
Oh shit,
Do you
this
like
is
Mr.
30
Mistopheles,
minutes.
Well, I just-
Eric.
I thought this was only like 18. Fuck it.
In 1983,
Oh no, this is
No,
your
I went to
idea.
Broadway. Let's hear it.
I went to Broadway and I
Okay.
said, got an idea for a musical.
Right.
And it's about a man who is
A giant.
Okay. They're pushing me out of the office.
Where is it set?
Yeah,
And
crust of
this one's
Mars.
set in New York City.
Wow.
And it's Christmas time. And the man, he's become lost because he got on the wrong plane when his family's going on vacation. And the only way he can get back to Chicago and avoid the two robbers that are after him is if a man lives in his ass and
And
controls
directs him there.
And he needs...
This is a grown man.
it's
He's a grown man who's separated from his family.
Kevin
Yes,
McAllister.
he's a grown man named Kevin McAllister.
Yeah.
And and lo and behold, 3 years later, Cats, the musical.
Wow.
This is
So
the
that's-
same plot.
So you're pissed
Stupid.
about that. Have you ever heard of the movie Home Alone, Eric?
Home Alone 2, I believe.
Home Alone 2?
Yeah.
I have.
Lost in
I've seen
New
it.
York.
I think that's just a coincidence.
I think that's
I
more
think
simple.
it's parallel thinking.
That's parallel thinking.
parallel
But the
thinking.
Lion King about a man, a crime fighting
I think
robot.
that's a simple case of parallel thinking. Is really all that. is.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So we're at Denny's.
You're right. And Elton, who's obsessed at this time with Mr. Mephistopheles,
Mr. Mistopheles.
And he's lapping up cum.
even by your own estimation, you thought up of in 1983.
Yes.
So this is the 60s. So Elton is obsessed with a different guy named Mr. Mistopheles.
I had told him the
You
idea.
told him in broad strokes the idea.
I told him my idea for Home Alone 2. And he said, I want to hear more about this Mr.
And so
Mistopheles.
just to be clear, in your idea for Cats,
For Home Alone 2.
No.
My idea for a movie about the man who's a robot who's lost from his family. He's
called Cats,
being pursued. Well, no, it's
called Home Alone 2.
No, it's called A Scanner Darkly. He's pursued by two robbers. One magical Mr. Mistopheles.
Is he a cat?
He's a large cat.
Okay.
And the other one, his name is Dr. Manhattan. And he's blue and you can see his penis.
Oh, that's scary.
So Eric Clapton's Scanner Darkly. He's the plot of Kevin Home Alone.
There's this guy
Interesting.
named Kevin McAllister.
Interesting. So he had loved this guy so much that he started lapping up cum at
He
Denny's.
would bring his own bowl of cum everywhere to eat like a kitten because it's actually
Just head
illegal.
first.
It's illegal to transport milk across state lines
Are there states in London, in England?
in the English states.
English states,
The United
yes.
States of
They
England.
have 50.
Yeah.
Which is what it was called at the time.
I didn't know
A
that.
lot of people don't know that the Brit invasion was actually a cultural exchange program. So, y'all, as you would say,
Right,
got
thank you.
rock and roll from us, and in exchange we got Denny's and States.
I thought you said the first Denny's was from England.
But it was based on IHOP.
I see.
It was an American theme.
Wow, I had no idea.
Diner. Yeah, they did not have diners
Interesting.
in London. Everyone would just eat. Well, come.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the first. So Elton was.
So Elton must have been pissed that everything got so Americanized that they stopped selling cum at restaurants.
That's why I'd have to bring.
No, but I thought he brought. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
He'd have to bring his own cum.
Right.
And so we thought it would be a funny prank to replace his cum with cream. With heavy
That
cream
pissed him
while he was
off?
in the bathroom. He's highly allergic,
Oh,
and so he died.
that's funny.
What?
And he was replaced. And Elton John, the new guy now.
So that's a different. So this
I
Elton
have no idea who
John
that guy is.
is a complete another
Completely
coincidence.
different guy. The first Elton John was black.
So you had a gay friend named Elton John.
He's a black man.
He was black. It was from Africa. He said he's from Africa.
He was a Nigerian. And he would wear sandals everywhere.
Was he
dressed
good
up
at
like-
music?
No, he was terrible.
Oh, but he was still in cream
Well, I
with you
met
and
him when
Paul.
I was scouting locations for my idea for a film about a giant man who has a friend who lives in his house. And I went down to Nigeria to see because it came to me in a dream.
Right.
And I had the dream right after eating a bunch of bananas. And
Sure.
I at the time had been reading a lot of Jungian psychology, and he talked extensively about
true.
how your dreams are actually come from the country where
With the fruit. The fruit that you eat before going to sleep. And because you had bananas, you thought you should go to Nigeria.
Which is the word where they're from.
That's exactly right.
That's where they're from.
I don't know if that's exactly right, though.
That's exactly right.
I mean, I believe that
Brazil,
that's your thought process, Eric, but I don't think that's correct. For there's multiple things wrong with that statement.
And so that's where you met Sir Elton John.
And I met Elton John.
First one.
Bananas, they're like South American or something like that.
He picked me up at the airport. He was my cab driver. And I said, I want you to come back to England, and I'm going to teach you how to make music.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever what's the closest you've gotten to having a man in your ass pulling levers?
Yeah. Have you ever lived your
Have you
truth?
tried
Well,
it?
I've actually, I'm here now. I stop by here
Why?
in New York to do just a couple of podcasts, and I'm trying to work my way up to Joe Rogan. Because I want Joe Rogan to introduce me to Elon Musk.
Oh.
And I'm going to proposition him, basically,
Oh, okay.
and say, if you present me, Eric Clapton, with the proper funding and research, obviously, that his companies are capable of to create or turn me either into a giant robot man or possibly shrink another human. You would obviously need two different research teams to look into it.
Right.
Correct.
If we can go down either path that results in us accomplishing this goal, our goal, in my lifetime, I'll suck his cock.
That's what you have to offer?
That's it.
And the
That's the plan.
I've spent all my money trying to do it myself,
Right.
and I believe you guys would call it fucked up.
Right. Yeah.
I don't particularly like using curse words, but in this instance, it's warranted.
Sure.
I don't cuss.
You don't cuss.
I don't cuss.
You made that very clear in the
That was the
pre-interview
quote of
process.
I don't think that an artist should ever use swear words.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think, this Donald Trump guy is.
Oh wow.
It's because he's
Interesting.
He's
He doesn't really cuss that much.
well, there's a lot of reasons. Not like my reason is that he uses cuss words.
Right,
Oh, okay.
right. So you're gonna do Cumtown, and then what other
I'm
pods do you
trying
have
to work
lined
my
up?
way up to Joe Rogan.
Are you
but
doing the guys we fucked?
I blew all my money because I got a Home Depot credit card.
Oh crap.
And Well, they have beef jerky there.
Right.
Oh, you didn't even buy something
I didn't
to build
even
a
think
robot.
about it. No, I started. I spent maybe $7,000 on PVC piping.
Okay,
And,
it's a good start.
and a lot of switches. I thought about. They have very luxury switches.
Like electrical switches?
Well, my whole house is filled with bicentennial commemorative light switch plates.
Right.
Because I had a
What?
period where I was obsessed with the Revolutionary War after seeing the movie Wild Wild West, which I had mistakenly identified as a revolutionary.
That's the symbol.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we don't have-
It's tough to, it gets confused.
We've never had a war in England, so we don't.
British, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't even know. No one. Most people in England have never even heard of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
What about World War II?
No, I don't think so.
You've never heard of it?
I don't.
You personally, have you ever heard of World War II?
But I saw Wild Wild West, and I said, "This spider, eerily close to my idea of a giant."
Oh,
yes.
did you ever pitch that?
I can't say. I did have sex with Kevin Klein, but I can't say that. I mean, it's possible he maybe read one of my notes about my idea for a giant man.
You think Kevin
sounds
Klein
pretty close.
looked at your diary?
But that's fair for you to say it might be parallel thinking.
It might
as
be
well.
parallel thinking. The
Yeah.
giant spider.
You're very gracious.
That's very
Thank you
gracious.
for all your time.
Well, I'm one of the greatest.
Guitarists.
That's exactly what I
Yeah.
am.
Yep.
That's exactly.
And did
what I
you
am.
did
Certainly
you
not
and
a-
thinkers.
Yes, I can't even. Often I forget
what you
just
play?
exactly who I am.
Right. Well, you're Eric Clapton.
Yes.
And we thank you for being on.
Well, I was obsessed with the Revolutionary War, so I replaced
Right.
all the
Oh,
light
yeah.
switch covers in my house.
right.
With bicentennial commemorative plates.
Yeah, which will be worth something.
And I've
assuming.
thrown out all of my regular light switch covers.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I mean, half of them ended up inside my ass. And
So you were just
So you have the switches there.
you have the switches and the pulleys and
ready
the
to go.
levers.
well, when I went to Home Depot, they have the nicer ones now. So I went dimmer switches in my whole house.
Your ass.
Oh yeah.
But then they
Your
got
ass or your house?
in my house.
Have you considered maybe a clapper?
But they got stuck at 10%, and it's damaged my vision because it's dark. It's like living in a cabin,
Right.
which
What?
I am training myself now because I'm in a low light situation, which I imagine if it can't be me that's the robot, perhaps I could live in someone else's.
You want to be the guy in someone's ass.
And so I'm training my eyes now,
Stupid.
just in case when I
To
eventually
live in an ass.
when I meet Elon and we get further into the project, maybe we're talking 20 years. I'll probably be. Let's see now. I've got to be me, Clapton. I've got to be somewhere in between the ages of 50 and 90 years old.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
About-
75.
Yeah, that sounds
That
about
sounds correct.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
how old
famous
is he?
in.
The
In
60s.
and 70s?
Yeah.
That sounds also correct.
And well into the 90s even.
Right. So
Yeah, you have
I've
a
got to
long
be
career.
pretty fucking old. So
Right.
I meet Elon, and then we're maybe a 20-year roadmap before we're talking about a situation where it's feasible to have one man live in another man's ass. And
Certainly.
at
To
that
live in a
point,
man's ass.
my body might not be able to handle the big and mechanization surgery.
Right. But you'll be smaller and maybe fit more easily into a man's ass.
So I might have to be the one that lives in the ass, in which case
And you're fine with that.
the only prerequisite is that my eyes are adjusted to a low light situation. So in a sort of roundabout way, it worked out that I had that big mess up with the bicentennial plates after getting so excited about the giant spider.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a screw up right there.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying it ended
It ended up being
serendipitous.
fortuitous.
Yeah.
And you know what? You actually are 30 years old. Or 75 years old. You were born on March 30th.
March 30th, great day,
Classic day.
classic birthday.
Did you know you're the only three-time inductee to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did know that. I also I came up with the idea for the hot dog eating contest in Coney Island.
Oh, 4th of July.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was down there and I went into Nathan's
come?
Hot Dogs and I had one of the hot dogs and I said, "This was great. I'd like to meet the owner, I'm Eric Clapton." Because you go places. We brought it over. You go to diners in the United States, and I was one of the first people to give them my headshot and put it on.
Oh, wow.
You came up with that.
And yeah, you can
Wow.
go. You can actually go to the original IHOP in Columbus, Ohio, and on there on the wall is the very first headshot. and it's a picture of me at 15 years old
15.
when my first album came out. It says on there, the food was so good, I wish I could jam it up my ass and let
Whoa.
I feel like the food is in my ass controlling me.
And then that was kind of
Thanks.
the precursor.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for dinner. Thanks for the dinner you made for me. And they said, what do we do with this? And I said, put it on the
Put
wall.
it up on the fucking wall. What do you mean? What do you do with
In
it?
15 years, the Italians will be doing this. I'm telling you, I know. The Italians, they copy everything. Ferrari, that was my idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I said, what if a car went so fast?
that it was gay.
that you could charge $1 billion for it.
That's awesome.
Your idea.
Now let me ask you.
I came up with that.
Really, you to do a car that was really fast?
Yes, I said that to Elton John, the original, of course.
Of
For
course.
the black one.
Now let me
Nigerian.
ask you: have you ever sucked a man's cock?
Of course. I'm British. That's a part of just how you
That's
graduate
8th
from
grade.
middle
yeah.
school to high school is
Yeah.
the cocksucking test.
Have you ever seen Keith Richards' penis?
Probably.
Yeah,
Good.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds
To the
awesome.
same degree, I'm probably 75 years old.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Eric. Unless you have anything else you wanted to talk about, we could get our co-host Nick in here.
Oh, there's another person.
There's another guy.
No, I don't know. I kind of like it.
You like the vibe? You like
Yeah,
the vibe,
yeah.
Eric?
This guy Eric's pretty chill.
Eric, don't say this guy, Eric. Sir
I mean,
Eric.
Sir Eric is pretty chill.
He's our fucking guest.
I do have one bone to pick. with
Please.
What
you
is it?
guys.
Let's hear it.
I mean, and other people have mentioned it to me. That's the only reason I know.
Sure,
the show.
sure.
It seems that this premise was stolen entirely from me.
Oh no, really?
The premise of the show. yeah.
Of
Cumtown?
Cumtown?
Of the well, you know, I mean, I don't
Want to say that word?
want to, but in
You don't come.
1997, I heard Car Talk, and I approached NPR and I said I want to do a show.
Right.
But this time it's 3 people instead of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of talking about cars, one of them is huge.
Okay.
He's a robot. The other one
Uh-huh.
lives in his ass.
And
The
then,
third person steals jokes.
interesting. Well, the thing is,
The third person is Jewish.
Jewish and he steals jokes. Okay.
That
Well,
laugh
we're really
is
sorry,
fucking
man. We
weird.
didn't
That's a
even
good,
know.
it sounds like a good show.
Yeah.
And it's called the Legion of Scams.
That's true. Dave is
Well, we
Jewish.
don't really have a guy in anybody's ass. Now, you nailed us on that other element, though. But
I brought this idea to everybody, and no one can.
Everyone
no
passed?
one will have it done, and that's why I say to this day, if I could change the world, the one thing that I would do is shrink someone down.
that's right. That's how this started, because we were singing that song.
It's about what I would do if I could change the world.
Well, do you want to play us off with one final rendition of that song?
Oh no, I'm good. thanks.
Okay, all right. Well, thanks, Eric.
Okay, I'll be in the men's bathroom
Okay.
at Ruth's Chris.
Nice.
If anyone wants to take a look at some blueprints in one of the stalls.
Oh, that's your office, kind of.
Yes,
Like
I've
Fonzie.
I've set up shop in the bathroom of the
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts on Fulton and Nostrand.
I thought you said Ruth Chris.
Well, I'll be there tonight. So
Oh.
the after party.
Yeah, it's a party for working on getting.
For the podcast.
I rented out the bathroom at Ruth's Chris from the
awesome.
Tuesdays with Stories podcast.
Oh, you're doing Tuesdays too.
I did Tuesdays, and Joe List, he said to me that I could use his office.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he said I could borrow the master bedroom. The executive suite.
So you know Joe List.
Yeah.
I met Joe List, in
That's
fact.
awesome.
They're friends. They have a mutual friend, Dominic Strauss-Kahn, actually.
When I met Joseph and his friend Mark, I said, you guys work so well together. Have you ever considered that maybe Mark could live inside their ass and
Right.
control you?
Right.
And they
Dude.
said, yes, we've heard your idea. Man.
Thanks, Eric. Yep.
Eric, we can you please leave? And then they stole the idea for the podcast from me.
That's so fucked up. Well, thank you, Eric, and I guess you can keep staying here if you like.
No, I think that's good. I think maybe half the episode is. enough time to hear it.
That's
Eric Clapton.
Thank you, Eric Clapton.
thank you, Eric.
Or as I like to call him, Eric Clap them ass cheek.
Clapped him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I love I like how he um stays in character. Anyway, that one was a long one, man. I can't. Why? Why would I start doing that? Why would I start like subscribe, subscribe?